Hare Krishna. So we'll start in 1 minute. Jaya Radha Madho Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janaballava Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janaballava गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधो कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर बनचारी जमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधो कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी. Hare Krishna. So we are just at 9 o'clock. So let others join, but let's start. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरदस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते. तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने. नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा. हरे कृष्णा. So I'll be sharing my screen. Just let me know if the screen is shared properly. Voice is okay. Audio is okay. Just let me know. Okay, just one moment. What is this update? It what is where from it is coming? Is my screen visible fully? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, sir. So, so better.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we come to chapter 18. That is the last chapter after 17 chapters that we have studied so far. So 17 chapters, so many questions, doubts. In fact, Arjuna had started with four doubts plus one doubt in the chapter 2, which has been answered in chapter 2 through Sankhya Yoga. Then there are further doubts. So there are questions, answers, counter questions, and again answers. So far, till 17 chapters, uh, there are many questions Arjuna has asked, and there is also revelation, divine revelation was there, Vishwarupa Darshana was there, so many things were there. There is, it started with Karma Yoga, then, first 7 chapters is supposed to be, uh, 6 chapters is supposed to be Karma Yoga, then the middle ones is Bhakti Yoga, and third one is the Jnana Yoga. So there is Karma, there is Jnana, there is Bhakti, as well as there is Dhyana Yoga. But ultimately, in this chapter, which is supposed to be the most confidential knowledge. So there is confidential knowledge, there is more confidential knowledge, and there is most confidential knowledge. That is Guiha, Guihatara, and Guihatama. As we also studied and read that most confidential Rajavidya Rajaguiham Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Rajavidya Rajaguiham Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Prataksha Abagamam. Prataksha Abagamam Dharmyam Susukham Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam susukam kartum avyayam. So that was the most uh, confidence knowledge. But this chapter 18 is the most confidential knowledge because it is a synthesis of the entire Gita. So if we approach this chapter with submission, tat viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya, if we approach this chapter with submission, then we actually can understand the whole Gita. So that's the importance of this chapter. So everything, and finally, after so many questions and our counter questions, what finally Krishna wants Arjuna to do, that let us see. So humble obeisance to Radha and Govinda. So we enter into chapter 18. Before that, last Friday, we had chapter 17. And these were the various sections up to A to F. 1 to 7 was about one's modes, the different modes, that is Sattva, Rajas, and Tama, or goodness, passion, and ignorance. All these three modes, how they determine one's activities, one's faith, and one's worship in the modes. So we all read about that different kind of faith, different kind of worship, like how the tamasic people worship the ghosts and goblins, the people with the goodness worship demigods, people with passion they worship humans, demons, and all that. Similarly, we also talked about various food in the mode, three modes. So rajasic food, tamasic food, and sattvic food. So the sweet, healthy, purifying heart, and then there is salt and salty food, salty and sour kind of food, which is rajasic food, and also putrid, you know, quite old, uh, also, more than 3 hours. All that we have studied, right? And also, also there are three things. Also, there are one is sacrifice, second is austerity, and third is charity. In all this, what happens to the three modes? Like what is the kind of sacrifices which is done in the mode of goodness, or passion or ignorance, similarly austerity and charity. For example, in the charity, what we understood was that charity, when it is given in the right time, in the right place, to the right person, without any desire of result, that is called the sattvic kind of charity. Just the opposite is the tamasic kind of charity, where there is no time, it is not as per scripture, just like that. Like we got a beautiful example where somebody was standing with a big billboard saying that donate for some weed. So those are the kind of tamasic charity, because the sin which will happen, because we do not know the charity by which we are giving someone, what is that is being used. If it is used for some kind of real sin, that sin will come back. So that is the also danger of charity. So therefore, Krishna says that our charity, our sacrifice, our austerity, all have to be in the mode of goodness, and then only it carries the meaning. Then only we can move forward in our devotional journey. And finally, the conclusion in chapter 17 was about Om Tat Sat. So Om, three words, Om Tat Sat. Krishna, Radharani, and the Jiva. And for every sacrifice, for every charity, and every austerity, to sanctify it, to purify it, we should utter these three words before doing charity, before doing austerity, before doing sacrifice. So now we move to chapter 18, which is the most important chapter. And there are, in fact, many sections. So we will not be covering all. We'll cover part one today and then part two, next Thursday. So this sections A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K is 1 to 12 is about acting with detachment is true renunciation. So this we had understood before also, like when Arjuna had asked Krishna, which is better, to renounce everything, go to the Himalayas, or to fight? What to do? What is the best? Then, of course, Krishna said that you have to fight. So that is also coming again here, because it is a synthesis of the whole chapter, all of the chapter of the Gita. So 13 to 18, 3 verses, the conclusion of Sankhya. Sankhya is chapter 2, and Vedanta, actions directed by the super soul being freedom from reaction. So how we'll get freedom from reaction? Only when we do the renouncement of the results, not renouncing uh, the house or home or duty. All those things are not the real renouncement. The real renouncement is the tyaga. So there are two words. One is tyaga and the other word is sannyasa. So sannyasa is the renounce order of life, and tyaga is, so Krishna is saying that tyaga is actually much more better than the dry renouncing. So that we have also come across Falgu Vairagya, like, or Markata Vairagya. All this we have come through, right? So now 19 to 40 is the entanglement of the three modes. How three modes entangle us. That has been already in the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, we have already understood, but it will again come, but in terms of some more things. Then 41 to 48, worshipping the Lord through one's occupational work. It's true renunciation and brings freedom from reactions. This is the most important point. We should read it once again. Worshipping the Lord through one's occupational work, whatever we're doing as of now, through this duty that we're executing as a father, as a mother, as whichever duty we're doing, as an employee, so, or as an army officer or a doctor, whatever occupation somebody is doing, that occupational work is a true renunciation. That is the way one can do the renunciation, by doing what? By not expecting the results, or by tyaga, or by sacrificing the result. Or tyaga means basically totally renouncing the result. So not waiting for the result at all, just doing for the sake of duty, for the sake of duty. Therefore, Krishna said, Nimitta matra bhava sapyasachi. You become my instrument. You do your duty. So therefore, every time he says to Krishna that Sarvesu kalesu mam anusmara yuddhascha. Every time, all the time, remember me and still fight. Because if you do not fight, then infamy will come to you. Klaibyang masmagama partha etatvaina upapaddate. Klaibyang hruda darbalam tukta uttisthata parantapa. All this he has said in the chapter 2. Then 56 to 60 is working in pure devotional service. Then Jnana Yoga to pure devotional service. Then working in pure devotional service. Then 61 to 60 is surrender. This is the most important, surrender to super souls. He gives the chapter 18's most important verse is Sarvadharman Parityajamam Ekam Sharanam Braja. This is the essence of the entire Gita. And 64 to 66, the most confidential knowledge of all. Become a pure devotee of Krishna. So there was Jnana Yoga, there was Karma Yoga, there was Bhakti Yoga. Now, here it culminates, and Krishna gives the summary, so to say, for all the chapters, the most confidence and knowledge, which is become pure devotee of Krishna. And what is pure devotee? This we learn from other important, parampara literature and parampara literature. Like, one is the nectar of devotion, and other is nectar of instruction. So we know what is the Uttama Bhakti. So Uttama Bhakti is that Anya Vilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anaprutam Anukulyana Krishnanushilanam Bhaktir Uttama. So that is the pure devotion. So one is the normal devotion and one is pure devotion. So one is sattva and other is suddha sattva. So a devotee is supposed to be always in the suddha sattva. Now 67 to 71 is preaching and studying the Bhagavad Gita. And 72 to 73, Arjuna is firmly fixed. Now all his doubts are clear. He's firmly fixed and he's ready to fight. So this is something we know the setting, right? It all had started just before the fight. After chapter 18, all his doubts are clear, and now he's ready to fight. And then we had the entire, fighting parva, the Bhishma Parva, where this Bhagavad Gita is part of the Bhishma Parva. Right now, 74 to 78 is Sanjay's predictions. That also we'll see, but at part two, that is next Thursday. Okay, so let's proceed. So summary of section A. So there are so many sections. After section A, there are so 1 to 6 is about true sannyasi does not renounce his activities but renounces the fruits of his activities. So his activities he doesn't renounce. So, for example, Arjuna will not renounce fighting, will not, none of us who are into Yukta Vairagya. Anyone who can say what is a Yukta Vairagya? Hare Krishna. What is a Yukta Vairagya? Hare Krishna. Acha, can you mute? Just a minute. Let me check.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yukta Vairagya, one should be Gruhastha as well as worshipping Krishna.
True. So, Yukta Vairagya is, yes. Nay, Yukta Vairagya, not necessarily one has to be Gruhastha. One can be in a Swami life or in a renounced order of life also. But even a Swami can also have a Yukta Vairagya. How? Like, for example, the Swami will be using the laptop, right? So he will be using all these material things. He will not leave the material things, like leaving everything and going to the cave of a Himalaya. That is something a Bijukta Vairagya. But what our Parampara says, what Srila Prabhupada says is the best is the Yukta Vairagya. Means I'm using this laptop for talking about Krishna, right? I'll use the car, the material thing, to go to the holy places. Like we go to Mathura, we go to so many other places wherever Krishna's leelas were there, or any tirtha sthana. So that is called Yukta Vairagya. Is it clear? Hare Krishna. Right. Okay. So next is renouncing one's prescribed duties is actually an illusion and is ignorance. Renouncing one's prescribed duties out of fear is passion, but dutifully performing one's prescribed duties with detachment is renunciation in goodness, and such renouncer suffer no reactions. So even in renunciation also, the modes are coming. In the sense that if I am renouncing, or anybody is renouncing in the mode of goodness, then only he will not have the reactions of the work that he has done. But if he's renouncing in the mode of passion or he's renouncing in the mode of ignorance, then the result will come. Then, if the result comes, then we'll have again birth, death, old age, disease, and all these miseries will keep on coming. So now let us proceed. So sannyasasya mahabaho तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य ऋषिकेश पृथक् केशिनिषूदन. So Krishna is called Kesinusudana. Why he is called Kesinusudana? Anyone? Hare Krishna. What is the meaning of Kesinusudana? Hare Krishna. Anyone? I think you can unmute yourself and say. You can unmute yourself and say. Hare Krishna. Let's be fast.
Because, yes, Prabhuji, because he has killed Keshi demon. That's right.
Yes. He has killed the demon called Keshi, who had come in the form of a big horse. So he's called Keshi Nu Sudana. Keshi Ni Sudana. And Keshi Ni Sudana. Okay. And the other name is Rishikesha. And what is the meaning of Rishikesha? So Rishikesha, we have two words, Rishika and Isha. So he is the Isha of the Rishika. And what is Rishika? senses. So he is the master of senses. So what he's saying, sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichhami veditum tyagasya cha rishikesa pratak kresini sudana. Now, for the first time, I think for the first time, Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahabaho. In fact, Krishna has also addressed him Mahabaho many times, right? And he's talking about two things. Sannyasasya is one and Tyagasya is two. So what he's saying? Tattvam. So what is the Tattvam? O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, that is Tyaga, and the renounced order of life, Sannyasa, killer of the Kesidaman, master of the senses. So he wants to know both. So what is Tyaga and what is Sannyasa? Okay. What Krishna answers? Let us see. Now Krishna answers. Sorry. Yeah. Kamyanam karmanam nyasam sannyasam kavayo viduhu sarva karma phalatyagam prahur prahustyagam vichakshanaha. So Krishna is using word like kabi. So the plural is kavayaha. Then he is also used the word vichakshanaha, means wise. So kabi is wise and vichakshana is the learned man. So what they have told about this two things. So what the kabi has told or what the wise have told about this and what the great learned men talk about these two. Which two? One is Tyaga, another is Sannyasa. What they have told. Okay, let us see that the Supreme Lord said to give up the results of all activities is called renunciation. Result of all activities. I have appeared for the entrance. Now I'm not interested if I'm getting the result or not. I have done my duty. I have studied well, prepared well. I have not missed any class. And I did all the coaching and whatever I was supposed to do. I did it. Now, after sitting for the exam, then I'm not waiting for the results. So simply to give up the results. And the best example is a mango tree. Somebody says that if you place the seed and it becomes a mango tree and it bears the fruit of mango, then the fruit is not yours. Because we will also know that because that so many things are also there to do any activities. So there are five factors which are come to do any activities. So that also we'll learn here. So the definition we have understood. Tyaga is the best. Which among the two is best? Tyaga is the best. Sannyasa is not the best because sannyasa could be just renouncing the physical things, renouncing the house, the home, family, society, country, and everything, and then going to some secluded place. That is called sannyasa. But renouncing the physical things will not actually renounce proper renouncement because the memory will still be there and the taste will still remain, and therefore they might come as a kuta and might again act. So therefore, the best thing is Krishna consciousness, where it will purify the heart. Paratvena nirmalam. So it makes the heart pure. The chanting of holy name, the chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. This chanting purifies the heart, and that is the only way for renouncing anything. Otherwise, the physical renouncing is not going to help in any way. It will be there in the mind. And what are the three things which travel with the soul? What are the three things which travel with the soul? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll give a tip. First one is mind. Which are the two? Other two? Mind, intelligence, and ego. Okay, let's proceed. Tyajang दोषवत् इति एके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदान तपः कर्म न त्याज्यम् इति चापरे. Some learned may declare that all kinds of fruitive activities should be given up, but there are yet other sages who maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. So this last line is very, very important. That tyaga doesn't mean that we'll renounce everything. In the sense, the sacrifice, one can, uh, you know, declare that I am giving up all kind of fruitive activities. Whatever I'm doing, I'm not expecting any result. That is fine. But what Krishna is saying here is that there are three things which are not supposed to be abandoned ever in any of these spaces, not only human beings, but for also demigods, for demons, for ghosts, for whoever it is, for all the living entities. These three things are not supposed to be abandoned. So the human has to do it, the demigods have to do it, even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesha, they have to do it. Uh, Jana Loko, Tapa Loko, all these, everyone has to do it. And what are those? Three things: sacrifice, charity, and penance. We are supposed to do sacrifice, in fact. And what is the best sacrifice in Kali Yuga? Hare Krishna. What is the best sacrifice? Yajnanam Japa Jagyosmi. So in the Kali Yuga, the best sacrifice is chanting the Maha Mantra, and we should do it. So sacrifice cannot be stopped, cannot be abandoned. Charity also cannot be abandoned. We should do something or other in charity. In fact, giving giving the knowledge, talking about Krishna, giving Krishna consciousness to other person is also a great charity, because you are giving them the Brahma Vidya, where there is the science of liberation. In fact, a bhakta doesn't need liberation, because Mama Janmani Janmaneshware Bhavatat Bhaktir Ahai Tuki Tvai, Sri Chaitanya Deva says. So a devotee doesn't want even liberation. He wants to be in the devotional service of the Lord, please the Lord, life after life. Sri Chaitanya Thakur says, please give me that chance, give me that opportunity, Krishna, that even if I take birth after birth, I don't mind, I don't bother about liberation. I'm interested to please you, and uh, that is the real quality of a pure devotee. Okay, let's proceed. So, jnanadana tapah karma natyajam karyam eva tat yajnodanam tapaschaiva pavanani Manishinam, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up but should be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. So, therefore, we find that even the great rishis are also doing some kind of sacrifice, even in in the Treta Yuga, in the Dwapara Yuga, every Yuga we see sacrifices are done by demigods, by rishis, by great sages. We see that. Okay, on the right hand side, we have a beautiful picture, and we see there is a great sacrifice going on. Even Lord Shiva is also present here, and there is a person with a goat head. Anyone who can say what is this going on? Who is this person? The person with the goat head?
It's Prabhuji, it's Daksha Prajapati.
Yes, 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 yes. Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Perfect, perfect. So he is the Daksha Prajapati. So we know the story, that what happened and how he was beheaded by Lord Shiva, the Kala Bhairava Rupa of Lord Shiva. He was beheaded. But then the important of sacrifice is that the sacrifice has to continue. And therefore, when Lord Shiva, with his mercy, put a goat head on the head of the in the place of his original head, he started doing the sacrifice. He's continued and actually finished whatever was remaining. So here comes the main understanding of Prabhupada, who actually, when in the purport he says that, see, intelligence, when we say that intelligence comes from the gray matter here, it's nowadays it is so popular about IQ and things like that. where the brain matters, etc., etc. But what this picture says is that the intelligence is not in this gray matter, it is in the soul. So therefore, even with a goat head doesn't have that the same, so not supposed to have that brain of Daksha Prajapati, but the soul had that intelligence, and that intelligence continued the sacrifice. Hare Krishna. So एतानि अपि तु कर्माणि संगम त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्य नीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतं उत्तमम्. All these activities should be performed without any expectation of result. They should be performed. My final opinion. Krishna always says it is my opinion. He never throws. He never gives a diktat, so to say, that you must do. He gives a choice, and this is the because of this minute freedom. This only because of this minute freedom we come to this cycle of birth and death. If the minute freedom was not there, the desire would not have come. If the desire would not have come, we would not have gone to the three modes of nature and then become puppets. All that would not have happened. However, okay, looking at this picture, now what he's doing, he is saving a goat from some kind of, you know, uh, there is, I think it was drowning or something like that, and he's trying to save this goat. So, what is he expecting anything from the goat? Of course, no. So, this kind of, you know, activity is done as a matter of duty, and therefore Krishna is saying, "O son of Partha, O son of Prutha." I mean, Partha, that is called, uh, you know, uh, that is called the sacrifice in the mode of goodness. That is a Uttama, the best. Now, what is the next? नियतस्य तु संन्यासः कर्मणा नोपपद्यते मोहातस्य परित्यागः तमसः परिकीर्तितः. Prescribed duty should never be renounced. Arjuna is the best example. Prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. And that is the reason why Krishna has been saying that Klaibang Masma Gama Partha Etat Tvai na upapadyate. It doesn't suit you, Arjuna. It doesn't befit you at all. Because if you are renouncing your duty, if you are not fighting, then you are in ignorance. In fact, Arjuna had also understood and he has surrendered. So we remember that important verse where he surrendered, and suddenly Krishna also become, the moment he surrendered as a Shishya, Krishna become the Guru. So that is Karpanya Dosha Pahada Swabhava Purchwami Tvam Dharma Sammudha Cheta Yashreyasya Nisitam Bruhitan Me Sishyasteham Sadimam Tvam Prapannam. So he had surrendered and said that, yes, please give me the right direction. What is best for me? Tell me. Then he said that this is ignorance. Please, Nimitta Matra Bhava Sapyasachi, you do your duty. Because if you do not do, then you are supposed to be in ignorance or illusion. Here we see Krishna, in fact, gave the entire Gita just because Arjuna has decided to put off his bow and arrow and said that so many things he said that my skin is burning, vipatusa sarirema, romars sajayate, gandiva sangsate hastat, gandiva is going flying away from my hands. Nacha sapnomi avasthatum, I am not able to stand here. Nacha saknomi avasthatum brahmati vacha me manaha. My mind is reeling. So all this he was saying, and Krishna has told chapter 2, and all his doubts were cleared. But again, further doubts came. So all this various kind of thing, Jnana Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga. all those came, and Jnana Yoga finally from 12 to 18, 13 to 18, in fact. Okay, so Dukkham iti ebayat karma kaya klesha bhayat tajet sak krutva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet. Anyone who gives up prescribed duties as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to be have renounced it in the mode of passion. Such action never leads to the elevation of renunciation. So elevation to renunciation, it doesn't lead when somebody gives up the prescribed duties as a troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort. It happens. Somebody doesn't. So in the parampara, so in the when we talk about Navavida Bhakti, starting with Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Vandanam, Pada Sevanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Adva Nivedanam, when we are seeing all this, then Guru Sadhu and Shastra went to read scripture in the time, start the class at 4:20 or 4:30 when the Mangal Arati happens. Then after that, Tulsi Arati happens. Then Guru Puja happens. So Shiksha Stakam happens. All this happens, and then there is a Bhagavatam class. Then book reading, self reading. So all that, if somebody is feeling okay, I'm very sleepy, I cannot, get up. Then because of that, if you are not doing our prescribed duty of a devotee, then it is renounced, then it is called we are in the mode of passion. Because you want to, what is passion? We want to enjoy. You want to enjoy sleep. We want to enjoy something else. Or let's say we're in the level 2, we're supposed to chant one round of mala, but I'm not, at least one round takes only 7 minutes. We're not able to spare 7 minutes, but then we can spend hours and hours in front of TV or any Netflix or social media, etc. So, or there is bodily discomfort as well, maybe for something else. Real discomfort also can happen in a executing certain duty like ekadasis and all, uh, which requires to be in fasting, etc. Some might have some problem like some gastroenteritis problem, or some problems where they will have hyperacidity, so have some problems. But yes, if somebody wants to do it, then he will have the necessary medication, necessary precautions, and still he can do it. But if he cannot do because of the fear of bodily discomfort, then it is called in the order of passion or rajas. So we can see this person is sleeping. He's not getting up. He's not going to school even. Okay. So let us understand the symptoms of proper renunciation. The intelligent renouncier, what does he do? Number one, how he does it? He is always in the mode of goodness. Then he is neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work. Which means what? Which means three things. One, does not hate anyone or anything that troubles his body. So if he has to get up, or he has to preach in a time, or whatever he's supposed to do as a devotee, or he's supposed to do as a king, or do as an employee, whatever is required to come to the office in time, that requires certain kind of sacrifice. And so that thing he doesn't hate. And anything that troubles also his body, he is not bothered. And second, he or she is not bothered. So whenever I say he, you have to mean she also. So works in proper place at, because in Prabhupada's time, no, uh, the English was not like that. It was mostly in Prabhupada's time, the English was like he means she also included. So without fearing the troublesome effects. So thereby has no doubts about work. And how to remember Krishna all the time and fight? How to remember Krishna? Suppose I want to remember Krishna and also do my office work. So sales people have to go to their clients and do something. They do negotiation, they talk. So while talking, questioning, answering, all that, how they will remember Krishna? So the best answer, what is given by Prabhupada is that it, the best example is the mother and a child. So the mother never ever forgets about the small child, even if she is cooking, or taking bath, or doing deity worship, or puja, or doing some house chores, she never forgets. So this is how we're supposed to remember Krishna. One of the devotees had given a very good example, which I liked personally, was that she said that I get up at 3 o'clock and I have lot many things to do. I have a laundry list, some 1 to 30, and I just go to Krishna and say, Krishna, my Lord, you have to now execute these 30 activities. And then I start doing it. So primarily what he's saying is that now I am not doing, you are doing. So that's called complete faith in Krishna. Okay, so let's go. Now, Dvasti, na dvasti akushalam karma kushale nanu sajjate tyagi satto samavisto medhavi chinnas samshayaha anishtamishtam. Okay, let's look at the meaning also. So the intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work. So here they're doing the cleaning stuff. So she is not hating this, and also she is doing beautiful prasadam, making prasadam for Krishna. Then second is anishtam ishtam mishram cha trividham karmanah phalam bhavati atyaginam pritya natu sannyasinam kvachit. So for one who is not renounced, the threefold fruits of action desirable. So there are threefold fruits of action. So one is desirable, one is undesirable, and one is mixed. That is that all these have to accrue based on your particular type of karma. Desirable also come because of some good karma. Undesirable will come due to some bad karma. Then some mixed things also will come. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. Okay. So summary of section B. This is the conclusion of Sankhya and Vedanta. Actions directed by the super soul bring freedom from reaction. What is important is freedom from reaction, because we know that every action will have an equal and opposite reaction, which is the law of karma. But how to get out of this reaction is to give up the reaction. And what is give up actually? I mean, I am using a word give up, that we have to understand what is give up. Give up means basically there is no expectation. There is no thought over it that, okay, what would happen? Will it happen or not? Or there is some attachment. If it happens, then it will be so good. I'll be so delighted. Or if it doesn't happen, I'll be totally sad. So this entire scenario in a 360-degree, way, we can see this is what is called a, if I do not think about this, then that becomes a giving up the results. So 13 to 18, Krishna cites Vedanta and analyzes activities as comprised of 5 factors. This is very, very important. For everything, 5 factors are required. Even for, holding this glass in my hand and then, drinking. This action also need 5 factors. So this is the smallest example I have given. Maybe the greater example could be, the installation and commissioning of a big steel plant. That can be a bigger example. There also 5 factors work. So what are these 5 factors? Let us understand. So Krishna cites Vedanta analyzes activities as comprised of 5 factors. This is to help us perform activities without becoming bound. Most prominent of these factors is the super soul. So out of 4 factors, fifth is super soul. What are the other 4? Let us see. Acting under the super soul's direction, one is unaffected by reactions to his actions. So what are the 5 factors? So now 18, 13 and 14, he will be talking about the 5 factors. And what are these 5 factors? Let us see. O mighty Arjuna, learn from me of the 5 factors which bring about the accomplishment of all actions. Any action that has happened ever or is happening now, or is going to happen in future will always have 5 factors. These are declared in Sankhya philosophy to be the place of action. That is factor 1. The performer or the karta. The place of action is called adhisthana. Then the performer is called karta. The senses, the karana, the endeavor, chesta, and ultimately the super soul, daiva. So, adhisthana, karta, the performer, the object of action or the senses or karana, and then endeavor is a chesta, and the ultimately the sanction of the super soul, because upadashta anumanta, so he has to sanction. Ultimately he has to sanction. So we cannot blame Krishna if some bad things are happening, if somebody is doing a murder or some kind of very very heinous activity, some murder, some rape, some terrorist activities. We cannot say that Krishna is doing this. He's not doing anything. Who is doing? The desire of that person in his heart is going to the Paramatma, who is Upadrashta Anumanta, and he is sanctioning it. Without his sanction, a blade of grass cannot just move. And that's a fact. That's a fact. For example, here we took the example. So there are 2 examples here. One is somebody is going to the a sari shop. So first so the shop is the place. So that is a place of action. Then he's going to negotiate to buy the sari, let's say. So he's a performer. Then he's using his senses, his eyes, his touch to look at the fabric, etc. Right? Then endeavor, because he's trying to get the best price and also trying to get the sari to home. But ultimately, even this desire also has to be sanctioned by Krishna, because something may happen at that point of time and it cannot, he may not get it. Maybe he has forgotten his mobile or his card or whatever, or something happened, or some riot has happened and suddenly the shop is closed. So many things happen. So that is the fifth part of any action. So daiva is required. The sanction, without that it cannot happen. Similarly, this example where the somebody in the right hand side, we can see in the conference room, they're designing everything. They have conceptualized the entire plant. So the entire DPR, what they call, everything has happened there. So there the place of action is there. Then so here we can see the land. The land is the place of action, we can say, right? Then these are the karta, these are the people, maybe the engineers, the various contractors, all those people are the karta. Then the place of action, sorry, the karana, or the counterpart of the senses, the object of action. So you use some steel, you know, ch- channels, angles, bars, so many things. Uh, then ultimately it happens. And also, finally, there is a sanction which has to happen from Lord Krishna. It doesn't happen, then this will not happen. So, any great project, what is the smallest ant to Brahma, the smallest project of eating, I mean, eating your food or drinking a glass of water, to the building of the great plant, need a sanction from Krishna, otherwise it will not happen. So Panchayetani Mahabaho Karanani Nibodho me Sankhye Kritante Proktani Siddhaye Sarva Karmana. O mighty armed Arjuna, learn from me of the 5 factors which bring about the accomplishment of all actions. These are declared in Sankhya philosophy to be the place of action, the performer, the senses, the endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. So therefore, everybody says that. So it in fact, it doesn't it complement our other important verse which says karmanni vibhadikaraste ma phalesu kadachana ma karma phala hetur burma asangastu akarmani. So Mahapalesu Kadachana, why? Because you can do your endeavor. So only endeavor is in your and karta, maybe the performer and endeavor, these two, or maybe two senses to a certain extent, is in your control. But the place of action and the sanction is still in the hands of Krishna. So sariravan manoviryat karma prarab karma prarabhate naraha न्यायं वा विपरीतं वा पंचैततस्य हेतवः. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech, kayena, kayena manasa vacha. This is what in Sanskrit is called. Kayena manasa vacha. If all things are in equilibrium, then somebody is called a simple. The simplicity is one of the virtue of being a devotee, which is in chapter 12. And what is a simplicity? When all these things are in equilibrium. So whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these five factors. So if you are thinking something in your mind, even in your thinking something in your mind is also influenced by five factors. Because you are in a particular place, so certain thoughts are coming. So place is there, karta, you yourself is there, or I am there. So karta is there, a place of action is there, then senses are being used because imagination is used, mind is used for thinking something, right? Then chesta, we're enjoying that kind of imagination or this thing, so just endeavor is there. And then of course sanction of, so even if somebody thinking very bad about somebody, then also it is being sanctioned because that is a desire that person has. He will have its effect, he will have his own karma for that, the result of that karma, bad karma, but it will be sanctioned. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tuyah pashyati akruta buddhitvan nasa pashyati durmatihi. Therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. So a person is called dhira and a person is called jnani or pandita. Pandita is samadarshina, huh? But wise, I would say. A person would say is wise only when he see things as they are, not influenced by any color. So one who thinks himself the only doer, not consider the five factors. So if somebody says, no, I have accomplished it, I have cracked IAS, I have cracked IIT, I have cracked medical, I am the boss of this, news startup, the best startup in the world, whatever. If anybody is claiming that as I, then he's forgetting about the four factors because karta is only one. So one's contribution is just 20%. If there are five factors, if every factor is given equal weightage, then of course it becomes 20%. So these five causes cooperatively perform every action. So what are those? This is very beautiful. So there is body, mind, and speech, both right and wrong action performed by, uh, you know, by it can be done by the body, it can be done by speech or by mind, both good and bad. And super soul, all our activities depend on his will and sanction. Unless he sanctions, nothing will be done. So in a way, the soul does, although he is not a doer, but here it is told or it is said here as a doer because there is a desire. So therefore, with that desire, soul becomes the doer. And then there is an endeavor or efforts which is being made, any kind of endeavor, whether studying, for an entrance examination, or even in the devotional service, when we're trying to achieve pure devotional service, that also we're doing. Then senses, instruments of action, we're using all our five senses, and place of action, the body. So this is how the whole. So it can lead to both. These five factors which are happening through speech, mind, and body can happen for irreligious activities, or it can happen also for the religious activities. What is irreligious activities? Activities which are not there as per scripture, which are against the scripture. So work done against the principles of scriptural injunctions are called irreligious. And religious is as per scriptures, as per the parampara. So work done. So, but both the things, whatever is done, it is not that the five factors are being applied only for the good things. It is also applied for the bad things. That is what is, made clear here. Hare Krishna. Okay. So all this we have understood. So summary of section C. So we end, this is 19 to 40 is the uh, summary of yoga ladder. So 19 to 40, one's work according to the five factors is dictated by the three modes of material nature. And what does it include? This includes one's knowledge, that is addressed in 19 to 22 verse, one's action, 23 to 26, one's performance of action, 27 to 28, one's understanding, 29 to 32, and one's determination, 33 to 35. And last but not the least, in one's happiness. One's happiness also is part of this inclusion of the mode of nature. 36 to 39, all activities within the universe are thus controlled by the three modes. And three modes are part of the material nature. Okay, so we continue. We have some time. We continue. It is quite a longish chapter, because it is the essence again. So three kinds of knowledge based on the modes of material nature. So that knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all existence, undivided in the divided is knowledge in the mode of goodness. So it's interesting. So it's kind of gets little mixed up and little confusing, saying that undivided in divided. So what is this? So undivided in divided means, it is again, we talked about the Dvaita, Advaita. So when we see, for example, Panditaha, Samadarshinaha, so it looks like divided, that okay, something is a tree, something is a glass, something is a lion, something is a fish. So it is divided. However, Pandita is sees the Paramatma everywhere. So that becomes undivided. So that knowledge, the knowledge of soul and super soul. I am not the body, I am not the mind and the soul, this kind of knowledge. I am the permanent servitor of Krishna, this knowledge. And also when I see the undivided in the divided, that knowledge is called in the mode of goodness. And what is the mode of passion? Which knowledge? So now it is so we had, before this, we had talked about various kind of sacrifices, penance, and charity in, modes. Now we're talking about the knowledge in the mode. So goodness, the knowledge is about the perfect knowledge, the real knowledge of soul and super soul. And what is the knowledge and passion? That knowledge by which a different type of living entity is seen to be dwelling in different bodies is knowledge passion. So he sees a Brahmana to be a Brahmana, a dog to be a dog eater to be a dog eater. He thinks whatever is whatever. So he cannot see Paramatma anywhere. And therefore, he continuously engages in endeavor, because he worships human or human power, and thereby he wants to enjoy more of sense gratification. So comes to this earth, this aswasatam, dukkhalayam aswasatam. for all the threefold miseries, he comes again and again. And that knowledge, and what is the knowledge in the mode of ignorance? What is that knowledge? That knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. Something he is doing that is not as per scripture, and that he thinks that this is it and nothing else. There is no parampara, there is no scripture, there is no sadhu, there is no shastra, there is no guru, there is no Gita, there is no Bhagavatam, there is nothing, just something is thought. Somebody has told that, okay, this is where, if you stand in the sun at 12 o'clock, mid of the day, then that is a great tapasya and everything will be fulfilled. Now, just one thing he's doing without knowing that who has said it. Is there a scripture which supports it? Is there a verse which says this? Where from it is coming? Nothing. Just he's doing like that. That kind of a knowledge is called absolute illusion, and that is called in the mode of darkness. Okay, so we go a little. So then, and that action performed ignorance and delusion without consideration of future bondage. Okay, next is, as for actions, that action in accordance with duty, which is performed without attachment, without love or hate, by one who has renounced fruitive results, is called action in the mode of goodness. That we have understood. So he has to renounce the fruit of result. Then he naturally is doing as per duty, because he, in the sense of duty, not for the result. He doesn't love or doesn't hate. So these are the mode of goodness, the actions. So the previous one was about the knowledge in three modes. Now these are the actions in the three modes. Then second action is about action which is performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires. This is very, very common. This is very, very common in this world. Everybody is trying to do great endeavor just for sense gratification, to get a good house, to get a good, whatever, some material uh, gift, something, some car, or some yacht, whatever. So all these actions which require more and more endeavor, because if one particular, let's say, desire is fulfilled, then the second desire erupts. So it is endless. And this is all done for the false ego, is called action in the mode of passion. And what is the action which is mode of ignorance? That action performed in ignorance and delusion without consideration of future bondage or consequences, which inflicts injury. For example, uh, let's say the demon like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Kamsa, Ravana, they have not only wounded themselves. Like we saw Hiranyakashipu, he was become a skeleton, and this Bhasmasura was cutting his flesh and everything. So he was wounding himself, as well as, for example, Kamsa was you know he was killing small children, he was killing his own sister, so many things. So they wound themselves, they wound everyone. So that's how their ignorance is, their action is all about, in the mode of action, in the mode of ignorance. Then three kinds of workers based on the modes of material nature. So first worker, who is supposed to be in the mode of goodness. And who is he? The worker who is free from all material attachments and false ego, who is enthusiastic, utsahat, dharyat. So that is also there, who is enthusiastic and resolute, and who is indifferent to success or failure, is a worker in the mode of goodness. So in fact, in Nectar of Instruction also there is there that which are the six things which enhances the bhakti prasiddhiti. So utsahat, nischayat, dharyat, tat karma pravartanat, sanga tyagat sato prittehe, shadvihi bhaktir prasiddhati. Then 18.27, but that worker who is attached to the fruits of his labor and who passionately wants to enjoy them, who is greedy, envious, and impure, and moved by happiness and distress. So there is no Padma Patra Vivambasa. There is sometimes very, very highly happy, then fully distressed. As and when his desires are fulfilled, he's happy. Again, the desire comes to a so ups and downs keeps on happening. So that particular type of worker is called in the mode of passion. And the worker in the mode of ignorance is the one who doesn't follow the injunction of the scripture, like those of Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, uh, and so many others, the Bhasmasura. So, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert insulting others, who is lazy in the Chaitanya Deva's time, the Jagai Madhai, always morose and procrastinating is a work in the mode. The procrastinating is something which happens to all of us many, many times. We always make up resolutions in the new year that we'll do a 1 hour of morning walk, 10,000 steps is the target. First day, 8,000. Second day, 10,000. Third day, 5,000. Fourth day, 2,000. Fifth day, nothing. Three kinds of intelligence based on the modes of material nature. O son of Partha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, that understanding is established in the mode of goodness. So, in the mode of goodness, he knows what is to be done. So, what is to be done? It is to be done as per the parampara. What is not to be done? It's nothing to be done. Nothing to be done beyond the principles of the shastra. So he knows what is to be done, what is not to be done. He knows what is to fear, what is not to fear. He doesn't fear death because he knows that this is, uh, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm the spirit soul. So he doesn't fear. So he knows what is to fear and what is not to be feared. Yes, what is to be feared, not to be in the Krishna consciousness should be feared because that is going to lead to the miseries. So he can fear that. So he knows what is to fear and what is not to be feared, what is binding, what is liberating. He knows that if he doesn't give up the result of action, then it will become binding. But then if he gives up the result of the action, then it becomes liberating. So this knowledge is called in the mode of goodness. And the mode of next, the mode of passion. What is that understanding? That understanding which cannot distinguish. Now, there is no distinction between the religious way of life and the irreligious, between action should be done and action that should not be done, that imperfect understanding. So you can know for the people who want to have continuous endeavor and sense enjoyment, they can go to any extent. We know the people how they climb the corporate ladder by so many unethical means. It can go to any extent. Start in the beginning, they might say, "Oh, this is very simple. This is very, very small way." But later on, the smaller ways become bigger ways, and it can go to even murdering somebody. They will not even think of because it will give them the higher ladder in their life. So what is happening is there is no distinction between what is religious, what is irreligious, what is good, what is bad. The distinction is gone. Sometimes they're doing good, sometimes they're doing bad. But why they're doing all this? A mix of both because their only aim is sense enjoyment. But only one, perhaps a little good thing better than the uh, the the tamoguni people, the knowledge or the understanding in the mode of passion is at least they will not be reborn in the lower planets, at least they will be reborn on the earth. That understanding which considers a religion to be religion. Now, this is just the opposite of 18.30. 18.32 is just the opposite of 18.30. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be religion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction of Partha is a mode of ignorance. So no, in the Shastra or any of the scriptural injunction, there is nothing like worshipping the goblins, ghosts, etc. There are so many things which are not there, but they will think somebody has said somebody is doing something of that sort. And if you ask them that why you were doing this, he said, "No, my father was doing it." And and why your father was doing? Because his father was doing it. So no questioning that whether it is there is a verse or not, there is a parampara or not, there is a shastra or not. It has to be questioned, because this wisdom is not, it is not invented by some person like Newton or Einstein. This is a wisdom which is coming as a sanatana, which is eternal. Now Krishna says that 120 million years ago he has given this knowledge to sun god. 120 million years ago. And before that it was there. So if it was there, that is the religion. So anything other than that is supposed to be irreligion. Then three kinds of determination based on the modes of material nature. So we have a lot of determination, right? We'll do this, we'll do this, we'll do, do daily japa every day. We'll not watch this, etc., etc. Or we'll do some sport activities, or we'll do sattvic activities, whatever. We'll be in the Krishna consciousness full time. Sarvesu Kalesu Ma Manusmara. So we'll do that. All this determination we do. But how much we get success depends on which mode we are in. So the first mode, Osana Partha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained like a Vishma Pratigya. You can say Vishma Deva to be in the mode of goodness, because once he has taken that oath, it was never broken. Osanapartha, that determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness by yoga practice, and thus controls the mind, life, and the acts of senses, is in the mode of goodness. What is happening to the Rajas mode? And that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive result in the religion, economic development, and sense gratification is also nature of passion. So all the economic development that is happening, some sort of religious activities, some sort of uh, you know uh, expecting some result from the religious activity. So I am praying this thing. So I am giving, 5 laddus. So let me get five good bonus, or I'm giving five prasadam, or something, some five garlands. So I should get some five chocolates, whatever. So 18.35, and that determination which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, moroseness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination is in the mode of darkness. So we have covered 35. So it has got 66. So we are mostly in the half of the. Uh, so we can take another one and maybe we can stop. So now it is about the happiness which every one of us wants. This is the ultimate thing. Satchidananda. So Krishna is Satchidananda. Sat, Chit plus Ananda. Sat is eternal, Chit is knowledge, and Ananda is bliss. So everybody wants their bliss. But what happens to this happiness based on the modes of material nature? What happens to the happiness in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance? So that which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to the self-realization is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. So initially it becomes like a poison. Anything, for example, if we are in the Krishna consciousness in this Navavida Bhakti, then all this will become really, really like poison, in the sense that it is so difficult to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. It is so difficult to take bath in the morning. It is so difficult to have fasting in the Ekadasi. All this will feel like poison. But later on, the great devotees, in fact, just wait, hanker for it, in the sense that when the Ekadasi will come, when I'll complete my 16 rounds, when, I mean, all this becomes uh, sort of absolute nectar. Every chant they make, it becomes a nectar. But initially, it will be like a poison. It will not, I mean, it will sway our mind. What is this I am doing? This is not right. I should watch something. I should read something, etc., etc. Of course, reading scripture is not coming in that reading. I'm talking reading some worldly stuff or prajalpa. Then 18.38, that happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like a nectar at the first but poison at the end is said to be the nature of passion. So passion is always like that. So in the start, it will give a lot of so for getting a promotion or getting some good result in the, let's say we can take the example of corporate career, then that they might do a lot of unethical practices. Initially, it will give certain good money, etc. One maybe enjoy that money, but after some time, it may give so much of infamy that it is like a death. Some people even make suicide because of that. So starting, it might become like a nectar, but the end is a poison. That is called in the mode of passion. So anything which which is very, very nectary, so to say. So if something is madhu madhu in the beginning, then you must be alarmed that is it going to end like this or it is going to end like a poison? So 18.39, and that happiness which is blind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion is said to be in the nature of ignorance. Oh, this is very, very clear. The ignorance, in any case, will lead to all this delusion, sleep, intoxication, and complete disaster. So I think 18.39, mostly half of the chapter, in fact, little more than the chapter. So we can end here. I stop sharing. And okay. Uh, also, live stream also has to be stopped.